So, have you ever found yourself just endlessly scrolling through social media, right? And you see product after product going totally viral, and you just have to wonder, is that actually worth my money? Yeah, it feels like every single day there's some new must-have thing promising to, I don't know, change your life. Well, today we are diving right into one of those exact products. It's the Wavytalk Blowout Boost. Heard of it? It's this $50 heated brush that has just exploded on TikTok. And it's making some really big claims. Like it says it can replace your entire salon blowout routine. You do it yourself at home. Talks about having 800 million negative ions. Sounds impressive, right? And promises this amazing hair transformation. So the big question we're tackling is, does this thing, this wonder tool, actually live up to all that hype? Or is it just another trend that'll end up, collecting dust?
Exactly. And our mission here really is to cut through that noise, to look at the hype versus the reality. Basically giving you a shortcut so you're properly informed about this specific gadget. And to do that, we've mostly relied on this really super in-depth investigation from the Savage Reviews YouTube channel. They just went down the rabbit hole, testing, data, everything. We'll also touch on some testing mentioned by Cosmopolitan. So yeah, we've got a pretty solid base for our chat.
Okay, I'm genuinely curious. Because, look, if it does deliver on even, say, half of what it promises, especially saving time and money, that's a huge deal for anyone listening. So, yeah, what did the sources find? Does that dream actually pan out? All right, let's unpack this then. The marketing claims, they are big. We're talking cutting styling time in half, minimizing damage to your hair, and delivering salon-quality results at home. But, I mean, for a $50 brush, that sounds almost too good to be true. Can it really do all that?
Well, what's really interesting here is the price point. It lands right in that kind of sweet spot, doesn't it? It's affordable enough that you might just impulse buy it. You see it go viral. It's $50. Maybe you just, click add to cart. But it's also just expensive enough to make you stop and think, hang on, is this legit? Am I getting scammed? And Savage Reviews pointed out, while it's often listed at $59 direct from Wavytalk, you can frequently snag it on Amazon for more like $30 or $40 with deals, which really highlights how affordable it is, especially when you put it next to, say, a $500 Dyson Airwrap or even a $150 Dry Bar Hot Toddy brush. So that really sets the stage for looking at the whole value for money question.
Yeah, that price difference is massive, definitely. But speaking of those big claims, especially that 800 million negative ions number, is that just like marketing fluff, pure numbers? Or is there some actual science behind it? Because 800 million, I mean, that sounds incredibly precise, almost fantastical.
It's true. The specific 800 million figure, that feels very much like a classic marketing grab, make it sound super high tech. But, and this is important, the underlying tech, the negative ion technology itself, that is absolutely not fluff. The research backs this up. Think of your hair strands like little pine cones, right? When they're healthy, the scales, cuticles, lie flat and smooth. But things like heat, friction, even just towel drying can rough them up, lift those scales. That's what causes frizz and makes hair look dull. So negative ions basically work to neutralize the static charge. They help those scales lie flat again, which seals in moisture and creates that smooth, shiny surface. And yeah, multiple professional reviews, including quite a bit of testing by Cosmopolitan, they confirmed this ion feature in the Wavytalk. It works exactly like it's supposed to. People see noticeable shine, noticeable smoothness.
Okay, wow. So the science isn't just a gimmick. It actually does something useful. That's a big plus for sure. But what about the other parts, like the actual heating element in the brush? Is that just standard stuff, or does it also help get those results they claim?
Oh, it definitely contributes. The technical side here is actually quite solid for the price point. It has a ceramic coating, which is, great for distributing heat evenly. And crucially, it uses dual PTC heaters. Now, instead of getting super technical about PTC, just think of it like this. These types of heaters are known for heating up really fast. And, more importantly, they keep a very consistent, even temperature across the whole barrel while you're using it. That consistent heat is vital. It means you're less likely to get hot spots that fry your hair. And you get effective styling without having to go over the same section again and again.
Fewer passes means less heat damage.
Exactly. Less overall heat exposure, healthier looking hair. Simple as that. Plus, it has adjustable heat settings, goes from 300 up to 420 Fahrenheit, and an auto shutoff. These are all signs of a pretty thoughtfully designed tool, especially, again, considering that price tag.
All right, so on paper, the tech sounds pretty legitimate, seems well thought out. But the real test, for me anyway, is always what actual users are saying.
Yeah.
What's the feedback like from people who've actually, tried it out?
Yeah, and this is where That Savage Reviews deep dive was super helpful. Users consistently, like really consistently, reported getting genuine compliments on their hair. You know, the "did you just leave the salon" kind of comments. People are seeing hair that's noticeably smoother, noticeably shinier. And what really stood out was how many people, especially those who find juggling a round brush and a separate hairdryer kind of tricky.
Oh, yeah. That's me sometimes. The coordination is hard.
Right. A lot of people struggle with that. They found this tool genuinely simplified their whole routine. It sort of democratizes that salon blowout look, makes it achievable at home for way more people.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sounds like it really does bridge that gap between needing professional skill and just wanting easy results at home. But let's be real. No product is perfect, right? Especially one that's this affordable and this popular. Were there any common complaints? Any drawbacks that kept coming up?
Oh, absolutely. And actually, the honesty about the downsides kind of makes the positive reviews feel more credible, you know? The most common issue people mention, it's the placement of the temperature buttons.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. They're apparently located right where you'd naturally want to grip the handle. So people end up accidentally changing the heat setting while they're styling. It's one of those small but kind of annoying usability quirks.
Been there. So frustrating.
Definitely. Several reviewers mentioned that specifically. Also, like with a lot of round brushes, hair can sometimes get a bit tangled in the bristles if you're not careful. Needs a little careful handling. And finally, there's definitely a bit of a learning curve.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, getting those perfect curls or those nice flicks at the ends, it takes some practice to master the technique. But it's a curve that most users seem to feel was worth pushing through for the results they were getting.
The classic button placement nightmare. We have all been there with some gadgets, haven't we? It's amazing how those little things can trip you up, even if the main function is great. Okay, so a few usability quirks, but nothing that sounds like a total deal breaker for most people. That said, when a product goes viral like this, sometimes the company behind it is sketchy or just vanishes. Terrible customer service.
Yeah.
What did the review find about Wavytalk itself? The company, their support.
Right, and that's another area where Wavytalk actually seemed to impress. They offer a 1-year warranty and 30-day returns, which is pretty standard, maybe slightly better than some. But the key thing is their customer service apparently actually works. It functions.
It's huge.
It really is, because so many of these viral products, especially from kind of unknown brands, can be a total nightmare if something goes wrong, like completely unresponsive, poor quality replacements, no returns honored, stuff like that. Wavytalk, though, seems to genuinely stand behind their product. That builds a lot of confidence for buyers. One reviewer specifically mentioned how responsive they were when they had a question about a minor issue. It's a really stark contrast to some of those, drop shipping fly-by-night operations.
Yeah, that's a massive differentiator online, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Especially when you're buying something that feels almost like a too good to be true deal. Okay, so pulling all these pieces together, how does this $50-ish brush actually stack up against the competition, like those much pricier ones, but also maybe other budget options?
This is really where the Wavytalk Blowout Boost makes its strongest case, I think. The value proposition. First, think about a professional blowout at a salon. That can easily cost you, what, $60? Maybe $80? Even $120 in some places.
Easily, and it only lasts a few days.
Exactly. The Wavytalk, even if you pay the full $59 list price, it literally pays for itself after just 1 or maybe 2 uses, compared to going to the salon regularly. The savings can be huge over time, but it's not just cost savings when you compare it to something like the Revlon One Step.
Right, another really popular one.
Very popular, yeah.
Yeah.
And often in a similar price range, maybe $40 to $60. Users consistently seem to report that the Wavytalk actually creates better, more defined curls, and crucially, significantly less frizz than the Revlon. That's a big one for many people. Now look, is it going to give you the exact same result as a $500 Dyson Airwrap?
Probably not, right? Different tech.
Definitely not. The Dyson uses a completely different airflow technology, the Quanda effect and all that, but the Wavytalk is definitely punching way above its weight class in terms of performance for the money. It offers a really accessible way to get similar kinds of smooth, styled looks for just a tiny fraction of the cost.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does all this really mean for you listening right now? We've seen the Wavytalk Blowout Boost isn't just, some marketing smoke and mirrors. It seems to be a pretty solid thermal brush. It genuinely delivers on key promises like adding shine, making hair smoother, that negative ion tech. It actually works, sealing the hair cuticle, cutting down frizz, and those dual PTC heaters, they provide consistent, even heat. It all adds up to a genuinely effective styling tool.
Precisely. And if we zoom out for just a second, look at the bigger picture. For someone who regularly drops $60 to $120 on salon blowouts, this tool, which you can get for $30 to maybe $59, it pays for itself almost immediately, like one use. That's serious savings. And maybe just as importantly, for anyone who struggles with the whole coordination of blow drying with a round brush, this genuinely makes it easier, makes beautiful hair feel more achievable at home. Just, remember to manage expectations. You're not getting Dyson-level performance for $50. That's just not realistic. But you are getting something that seems to work better than a lot of other options in its price bracket, like that Revlon one-step, particularly for getting nice curls and really tackling frizz.
Right. And just to flag those specific complaints again, so you go in fully informed, watch out for those awkwardly placed temperature buttons. They might annoy you.
Okay.
And be ready for a little bit of a learning curve as you figure out the best technique for your hair. But honestly, those seem like pretty minor hurdles compared to the overall value and results people are reporting.
And this kind of brings up a bigger question, maybe something for you, our listener, to think about. In this age we're in, with viral sensations constantly promising revolutionary results for everything, how do we actually tell the difference? How do we discern genuine innovation and real value from just, really clever marketing hype? Is the true boost in products like these sometimes less about some massive technological leap and maybe more about just accessible, practical improvements that genuinely fit into our daily routines and, importantly, our budgets?
That's a great point. Definitely something to mull over next time you're tempted by that viral must-have. We really hope this deep dive helps you feel well-informed, maybe a bit more confident when you're making those kinds of decisions.